Katzcradul here. I love YouTube. I love all the things I've learned. One of my favorite things is when someone shows their home canned goods. I love seeing that. I even just love seeing still pictures of people's home canned goods being stored in their storerooms. I don't think there's anything prettier. Maybe my fascination comes because I'm a canner as well, and I just enjoy that. But I thought I'd show you something. I posted a video yesterday on making rhubarb strawberry jam, and as I went to go put it up on my shelves, I thought, maybe someone else might enjoy seeing my canned goods. And several of you have mentioned that you're interested in canning, but that you're just getting started and you don't know where to start. There's lots of us on YouTube who are happy to help you with that, so feel free to ask your questions, and most all of us old-timers who've done this a while are happy to get back to you and answer your questions. Canning your own food, in my opinion, improves your quality of life. I can buy a better product. I can buy a product that has less hormones, that's been fed more organically. If we're talking about meat, I can put up my own fruits and vegetables that have had no pesticide on them, that have been grown organically, that have no preservatives in them, and the quality is just so much superior to a similar product that I would buy on the grocery shelf. Let me tell you a little bit about those things that we routinely can here. This one is bacon, and if you want to see how to do that, there's several people who have followed my method for canning bacon. I think Ironhead 41 was the first one who made a video about it, and then BexarPrepper made a video as well. Both good instructional videos. BexarPrepper did bacon both ways that I recommended. You can just go watch her videos. I hate to waste time reproducing information that someone's already covered thoroughly, and both those people did a real good job at that. Several other people have canned bacon using my method, and you can find them if you hang out with the prepping community. Down here on the bottom is canned ham. I bought that ham when it was on sale at Easter. Ham goes on sale for a great price at Easter routinely. When you can it, it no longer tastes like ham, I don't think. I think it kind of tastes like a roast. It's incredibly lean because I've cut the fat away, and when you mix it with barbecue sauce, it makes the most delicious barbecue sandwiches. Has a slightly smoky flavor, but it doesn't necessarily taste like the ham you would be eating for Easter. On the top is canned pork. That's pork roast that I cut up and canned. It's delicious. Extremely tender because it's cooked in a pressure, it's processed in a pressure canner. This is ground beef. It's healthier than the ground beef you would just fry up for your dinner and then go right into making into a casserole or whatever, because this has allowed the fat to come to the surface, and when I open, I can take every bit of that off. This is chili in the back. There's not a quicker winter dinner than to open up a can of this chili and either put a bed of corn chips or rice at the bottom of your bowl, pour the hot chili on, and then sprinkle with cheese and onions. It's delicious, and it would be your chili that you've made just like you like it. Here is a can of chicken breast meat. I admit it looks like a science experiment gone wrong, but so would the chicken at the grocery store, the little chicken in the can. If it were in a see-through container, it would look the same way. This makes the quickest meal. You want to make a broccoli rice chicken casserole, you just open this up. You don't have to wash chicken, you don't have to dice chicken, you don't have to cook chicken. It's ready to go. I have found chicken breast on sale for the last 2 weeks, boneless, skinless chicken breast for 99 cents a pound. Get it while you can. Up here is canned butter. There are lots of people who have followed my instructions on canning butter as well. You can find those easily online. I do pressure can it. I don't just heat process it in the oven. I pressure can it. I love having that on my shelf. I do not want to eat powdered butter or powdered margarine if I don't have to. I want the real thing. Down at the bottom is just some chicken stock or pork stock. I'm not sure which one. Whenever I have any left over, I just can it. Eggplant. Wonderful for eggplant rice dressing. Delicious to have in the winter when you don't have any eggplant coming in your garden. The back is green beans. A lot of people can green beans. We love them too. Here's dill pickled spears. I can put as much garlic and red pepper in them as I want. I love it. I can it just like we like it. There's whole tomatoes in the back, and then there's a tomato sauce there. There are little bitty pickled okra. They are delicious. My daughter got them out yesterday. She wanted to open a jar of them and just eat them, but we're going to have them tonight with some brats and some guacamole and dip and some pickled okra. That's what's for dinner. Here's green tomatoes that I use for salsa. This was canned in October of '06. That's the last jar of those I have. I can tell you every year exactly when I can green tomatoes. I don't even have to put the date on it because I know when we did it. We always can green tomatoes the morning after the first frost. When we hear there's going to be the first frost of winter, we go outside and we pick all the green tomatoes off the bush so that they won't be ruined by the frost. And the next morning I make I can my green tomatoes for salsa. We love them. I love to pour some of those in my salsa. They have a little bit of a tart taste, but they're delicious. Let's see what else. There's canned oranges. You know I'm partial to citrus. Canned oranges, and then in the back there, that is a combination of oranges and grapefruit. When we open up that can of oranges and pour it into a bowl, and sometimes we put maraschino cherries and some coconut, or sometimes we slice up some grapes and bananas and make a fruit salad, that citrus tastes like I just peeled it fresh. I don't know how that works because you think processing in a boiling water bath would make it mushy, but it doesn't. It's delicious. Here's the prettiest thing to me. There is nothing prettier than well-canned pears. They're beautifully white. These were pears that a neighbor of mine was letting ruin. He has a couple of pear trees, and he was letting them fall to the ground, and he said, "Would you like some of those pears?" I said I would love them. So he brought them to me, and I think I canned about 10 quarts of them. They are gorgeous and delicious. We like to put them in a pan, sprinkle them with just a little bit of brown sugar and a couple of drops of vanilla right in the center, where the core was of the pears, and broil them for a few minutes under the broiler. What a delicious dessert in the winter. Here's apple butter, homemade apple butter. I can put as much spice in it as I like. And apple sauce. I think this applesauce may have a little ginger in it because it has a slightly yellow color, so I think I put a little ginger in that. Delicious. The apples were free from someone who had an apple tree but didn't want to do anything with them. Here's jalapeno jelly. We get so many jalapenos generally. See, it's kind of green. We get so many jalapenos generally that we can't eat them all fresh, and I freeze them sliced and halved, and I pickle plenty of them to put on pizza and nachos, and I still end up with too many, so I make jalapeno jelly, and we love to have that with pinto beans and cornbread and sausage. It's just delicious. It's a savory jelly. It's also a delicious spread on a block of cream cheese and then spread on crackers for an hors d'oeuvre. Delicious. Here is plain rhubarb jam that I made a couple of weeks ago. You can see that it's just green. It's probably my favorite jam in the world. Love it. And then here's the strawberry rhubarb jam I made yesterday. It's half rhubarb, half strawberries, and it's delicious. Why am I showing you all this? Because I want to motivate you to go out and to grow your own food and can your own food. Now, you may not do all this at once, In fact, if I had to make a recommendation, I would say start here. I'm going to draw the dividing line right here in my canned goods, because everything here to the left has to be processed in a pressure canner. Okay? That's one of the more expensive ones that have the valve and the weight and all that stuff to it. And it's processed under intense pressure, 10 to 11 pounds of pressure depending on where you live. Now if you start here at the pickles and you look at pickles, anything that's pickled, the citrus, the tomatoes, the jams, jellies, all of that can be processed in a boiling water bath. And a boiling water bath, that's that big dark blue with speckled granite ware kettle that you can buy at any of the big box stores. It has a rack on the inside and a big lid that goes on it. This food all is set into that big pot and covered with about 2 inches of water and processed from 20 minutes for the tomatoes to 10 minutes for the jams and jellies. Very, very easy to do. And that particular canner, that granite ware, that dark blue granite ware canner, runs about $20 for the pot, the lid, and the rack. Such an easy, inexpensive way to get started in canning. And jams and jellies, there's just nothing easier to do. Applesauce, so simple. Even the citrus, very, very easy. All you have to do is, when you go to one of those big box stores, get a Ball Blue Book of Canning. It will tell you exactly how to do all these things. If you don't want to purchase one of those, I recommend Pick Your Own. I'll give you a link, pickyourown.org. Pretty much anything you would want to can in the way of fresh fruits or vegetables, the instructions can be found on that website. I think part of the reason I love canning is because it seems almost primal to me. Before our generation, people always had to collect their own food or grow their own food and put it up and preserve it. And there's just something, like I said, primal and ancient about preserving food, and I love being part of that. Many people in my generation and younger than me have no idea how to do this. The children I teach in school think food comes from a store. They have no idea that there's someone somewhere growing it and tending it and losing sleep at night when there's not enough rain, and worrying when there's flooding, that real people are involved in the production of food. I enjoy being involved in the production of my own food, canning my own food, knowing what's in it, and feeding that healthy food to my family. I hope this has encouraged you in some small way. If you're not involved in producing and preserving your own food, that this might have just sparked a little bit of interest for you, and that you might think of pursuing this for your own family. If you have any questions, I do try to respond when you write to me, and I would be happy especially to answer any questions about preserving food, whether it's canning, dehydrating, freezing, whatever questions you have. I hope you found this interesting and that it helps you in some way. Katzcradul.